Toastmasters and guests. This meeting of online presenters has now begun. Can I ask? Yes, I can see that the recording is rolling. So guests, please note that in order to be a member of our club, you must be a current or former active member of Toastmasters International and have completed at least 6 speeches, either from the traditional or the Pathways programs. Or you must have substantial relevant experience that you demonstrate in a 3 to 5 minute speech delivered on a club meeting. All requests for membership are subject to board approval. If you haven't already done so, can you please change your panel to ensure it shows your name and role if you have one, or if you're a guest. Right-click and select Rename to do so. We've got members and oftentimes guests from many countries throughout the world. And as a professional organisation, we ask that you be aware of language or word usage that may be considered offensive or otherwise insensitive due to cultural differences. Please also note that we are recording this meeting. Your audio and video contribution may be used for club marketing purposes. Please mute your microphone when you are not speaking. The theme of today's meeting is the webinar contest. And so please welcome our presiding officer of the evening, our Vice President for Education, Christian.
Thank you so much, Graham. Thank you for setting the scene and for the introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll keep it short and sweet. Welcome to our 2021 webinar contest. We're ready to roll. Have fun, enjoy the show. To our contestants, all the best. Be your best and shine on this virtual stage. I'm now going to hand over to our contest chair of this evening. She's been prepping, she's ready to roll and set for action. Please wave crazily for our contest chair, Elizanne Warren Russell. Over to you, madam.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Online Presenters Webinar Contest 2021. The contestants, judges, timer, ballot counters, chat monitor, and sergeant of arms have all been briefed on Friday, April 23rd, 2021, and today before the contest. Our timer for the contestants, please pin your timer before you begin speaking. Our chief judge is none other than Mr. David Carr.
Okay, so I'm on. Okay. I thought you might have more of a wind up there. Welcome to the webinar contest. This is going to work a lot like a regular Toastmasters contest. Most of you have been to a bunch of other Toastmasters contests. We're going to follow those same general rules. However, this is our own unofficial contest format to show who can do the best job of delivering a presentation online. Now, we've actually done this a couple times before at Online Presenters, but this year, the winner will go on to face off against winners from other clubs at VTMCon, the unofficial online contest of Toastmasters clubs, or conference of Toastmasters clubs, and that's June 26th through 27th. Make sure you sign up for that. Will somebody drop a link in the chat, please? We've set a steep challenge for these contestants. They're limited to 3 to 5 minutes for their presentation. But one of the scoring criteria is whether they find a way to create engagement with the audience within that short time. Now we're going to leave the chat open, so the chat is one of the avenues that's open to them, but not the only one. They can come up with something else creative. They can get you to wave your hands. They can tell you to send up smoke signals. Don't burn down the apartment. Audience members will also be allowed to keep their webcams on during the contest, which is different from a lot of the other ones you've attended over the past year. We have made provisions for some technical problems that may occur, although we hope they won't. For example, if a judge is disconnected or has other technical problems and can't fairly judge the speeches, I ask that they let me know and disqualify themselves. And we'll just take them out of the running. We'll finish up the judging with everybody else. If a speaker is knocked offline in the middle of their speech, they'll be given a reasonable opportunity to reconnect. And we consider a reasonable opportunity to be within 2 minutes, excuse me. We'll also give them an additional 30 minutes to complete their presentation. So they're supposed to start wherever they were interrupted and continue on with a little 30-second gift. But we would rather that not happen. We are also using a digital voting and vote counting system that is part of my glorious WordPress for Toastmasters project. But we've made provisions for what's going to happen if that fails us too. So hopefully we're going to have a smooth contest, a fun contest. The speakers have been qualified, the judges have been qualified, and I think we're ready to begin.
Thank you so much, Mr. David Carr. And for those of you who don't know, Mr. David Carr is our technician extraordinaire. He has done so much in making online clubs and contests smooth running. So we want to thank him for that. There will be a minute of silence between each contestant for the judges to deliberate. Our timers will put up the green at the end of the minute. If our judge, go ahead.
I'm sorry, maybe one other suggestion. One trick for keeping track of the timer. And we actually have 2 timers. We also have Donna as a timer in this meeting as our backup. But if you go into gallery view, you can drag and drop their images to the upper left-hand corner, and therefore they should stay on your screen even if you're screen sharing.
Thank you so much for that information, David. So our contestants should pin the timer or drag and drop it as David has announced, so that you're able to see the timers in order to keep your timing. We have already also provided a chat monitor. Her name is April Eliza. And if you can definitely check your monitors for her information in the chat. Once the contest is finished, we would then have the ballot counters and the judge leave the room in order to be able to check the voting. All qualified participants will, the timers will let the judge know about the qualification of timing. Our speaking order was selected earlier this afternoon, and we have contestant number 1, Mr. Andriy Smolenko. Contestant number 2, Marianne Grady. Contestant number 3, Birgit Starmanns. Contestant number 4, Christine Guld. And contestant number 5, Angela Heath. Let's give a round of applause for all of our contestants. Are there any questions from our contestants or any official? If there are no contestants, we will begin the 2021 webinar speech contest from online presenters. Timers, are you ready? Our main timer is Mr. Jim Guld. Contestant number 1, are you ready?
Yes, Madam Contest Chair.
Timer, are you ready? Our first contestant, Andriy Smolenko, Community Power, Andriy Smolenko.
Madam Contest Chair, fellow members, most welcome guests. In this webinar, you will learn what Facebook groups really are, about their power. You will also learn how to create your own digital community, and all this just in 5 minutes. I strongly encourage you using chat box during my webinar. Ask the questions, make the comments. In the end of my webinar, I'll ask chat monitor to pick 3 top questions, and then I will answer them. Well, let's talk a little bit about what's going to happen during today's webinar. Let's start with me. I'm Andriy Smolenko, and I'm a member of Online Presenters Toastmasters. I'm based in Manchester, UK. I'm an entrepreneur with about 15 years of experience, law and finances. Also, I am a creator of 9 Facebook groups, including VTMCon 2021. I get back to that a bit later on. And also, I happen to be an administrator of a group, UK-Ukraine, with more than 4,000 members. I know a thing or two about Facebook groups. I like them. And this is what I'm going to tell you how to do it properly. Facebook groups, what is that? It's the place for people to spread the word about you or your business, about how much they love you. They're just roaring to go and do it. There are about 10 million active communities on Facebook these days. So let's see how we can set up a Facebook group in simple 5 steps in 5 minutes. First, let's presume you are on your Facebook page, your personal one, like mine, for example. You can see red circle is the icon groups. Click on that icon. Step number 2. Yes, I know you may be a bit distracted with the view from my news, but it's nice and tasty. Anyways, please pay attention to the another red oval. Create new group. Click on that button. Then, few more things to do on step number 3. Group name. Let's call it a test or any name that you like. Privacy. Very, very important. 2 options, public or private. Public group is just anyone on or Facebook can see what you're doing in the group, and members. Private, only members of the group can communicate with each other and see who is in the group. Next, do not invite friends at this stage. It's a little bit too early. 5, then hit create button. Yes, hit create, and congratulations, you have your own Facebook group. At this stage, I suggest get your right hand, tap yourself on the shoulder and say, well done. You are the master already. Just a few more little tricks before you share it. First, add cover photo for your Facebook group. Easily done, any photo. 2, add screen description, Facebook description group. 2, 3 simple sentences, straight to the point. And third, create a post, any post that you like. Say hello or say good morning. The important thing to remember, just do it. You can come back to it later. Doing these simple techniques, I managed to create a VTCom Facebook group, which will say the event will take place in June, and group is there. Go and join. Well, fellow Toastmasters, guests, if I could do it in 5 minutes, in 5 easy steps, so you can too. For more information, go on facebook.com/help. And now I would like to take a few questions from our chat monitor, who has been monitoring chats very, very carefully.
Question I have is, what do you think about the Facebook privacy policy? Came from one of our guests in the chat.
Well, as I said, there are 2 choices you can make. You can go open group, everybody can see it. You can go really private. You can go even unknown group that nobody can see. Up to you.
Okay. Another question from Elaine is, is posting a challenge a good way to get members involved in a Facebook group?
Yes, definitely it will. One of the best things to do. Thank you very much for your questions. Well, community is power. Do it. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much, Andriy. We're going to ask for a minute of silence, and Timer, please give us a minute on the clock for the judges to deliberate.
Okay, that's a minute.
Thank you so much, Jim. Is the judges ready?
We can go ahead.
Okay, so our second contestant is Miss Marianne Grady. Tell me about, Marianne Grady, are you ready?
I am.
Timer, are you ready?
I am ready.
Marianne Grady, tell me about yourself. Tell me about yourself, Miss Marianne Grady.
Are you looking for your next job opportunity? I'm Marianne Grady, business and interview coach at Rise Above Resources. I've spent my career as an HR professional, AKA a hiring manager. And with that perspective, I can help you get the job of your dreams. Let's face it, the job market is super competitive. At Rise Above, we aim to help you elevate yourself so that you're the person who gets the job. People with the right degree and a lot of experience, they're a dime a dozen. You need to stand out from the crowd. So we offer our Get the Job Bootcamp. This is a 4-session intensive workshop where you will learn how to stand out and to focus on what makes you unique in the market. You'll learn the motives behind interviewers' questions. That's right, interviewers have motives. And you will learn to craft your personal responses to interview questions, not the same ones everyone else downloads from the internet. Finally, you will learn the interviewer's perspective and you'll understand it. Show of hands, how many of you have ever struggled in a job interview? I see there's quite a few of you. Tonight, we only have a short time, so I am going to focus on the #1 interview question, and that is, tell me about yourself. We're working with a chat monitor named Surya Vangala, so please find her and put your response to her to the question, what do you think is the right answer to tell me about yourself? Is it A, your life story, B, your work history, C, a combination of the two, or D, something totally different? In my experience as an HR professional, I have seen most people give me their work chronology. But guess what? I know that already. I read your resume. You have to make the most of your time with the interviewer. And how do you do that? You give them a passion statement. This is the why behind what you do. Do it in a story format because stories create rapport and make you more relatable. And when that happens, the interviewer likes you. And psst, little secret, interviewers hire people they like. So I'm going to give you a little example of how that story would evolve. I would sit with a client, and the one I'm thinking of is a cancer research scientist. And I asked her, why do you do this? And she told me, because I like to help people. And I said, that's a little generic. So we went a little further and I asked her why she liked to help people. She told me that it made her feel good, still not good. So I kept pecking at her and she was a little annoyed with me, but finally she blurted out that both her mother and her grandfather died from cancer and that she never wanted anyone to go through that pain, and she's dedicated herself to finding a cure for cancer. Bingo! Can you imagine? She went from, I like to help people, to that. That is so much more powerful. So for an accountant, it can go from, I like working with numbers, to accounting is black and white. There's no gray. There's always a right answer. And I like to solve for it. For a teacher, it could go from, I like working with children, to, when I create a lesson that inspires young minds to open up and get that aha moment, I find it extremely fulfilling. You see, hiring managers want to hire people who care about the work, not just the paycheck. So developing your passion statement and making it part of a compelling story, talking about how your experience connects to their job description, and doing that with confidence will enable you to answer, tell me about yourself, with great ease. And that's just one of many tips that you're going to get from being at the boot camp. Oh, and by the way, we would like to extend an invitation to you to join our boot camp and to be able to, you are going to learn to be able to articulate your value proposition to potential employers. You'll talk with fluency and confidence when you're answering questions, and you'll understand the interviewer's perspective. Now, I wanted to let you know that most of you are like most people, because when you responded to that one question, most people said use the work history. I'd like you to spend a few hours with us to get the job of your dreams. Seating is limited, so don't wait. Go to www.riseaboveresources.com to reserve your seat today. And if anyone here has any additional questions, please put them in the chat and I will respond to them when the presentation has been completed. I'm Marianne Grady with Rise Above Resources, and I will see you at boot camp. Back to you, contest chair.
Thank you, Marianne. I'm going to ask the timer to put a minute on the clock so that the judges can deliberate.
Okay. I have a minute on the clock. I need some help from Donna for this last speech. I had a problem with my timer, so Donna.
Thank you for letting us know. Donna, could you take over the timing for the next speaker, please?
I can get the next one, but I messed up on Marianne's. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you so much for letting us know.
I'm here.
All right, that's a minute.
Thank you so much. Our next contestant is Birgit. Birgit, are you ready?
I am ready.
Timer, are you ready? This time, Donna is your timer.
Oh, wait.
I'm also ready. So
We'll go with Donna since we already asked her to.
Oh, wait, I need to repin then. 1 second. Okay. All set.
All set. Contestant number 3, Birgit Zimmerman, Podcast 101. Podcast 101, Birgit Zimmerman.
Thank you, Madam Contest Chair. I am the public relations manager of District 101. And when I took over the job after the prior PRM had stepped down, my district director challenged me. And he said, you know, we were talking about doing a podcast. And I know that there's a project in Pathways that talks about a podcast, but it's only one podcast. We wanted to make it a series. Today, I would like to share with you some of my learnings as I was developing this podcast called actually Destination 101. So to give you a little bit of my experience, let's talk about Podcast 101. Now, when I refer to what I have done, I'm hoping that you can take some learnings from that. So basically, Destination 101 comes out every other week, and we do some promotion, and we do some of that promotion via our homepage, and we also do it on YouTube, as well as other types of platforms that are audio only. For example, right now, we're going to come out with Unmute Yourself, which is our conference theme. And actually, we just did an interview with Richard Peck. So basically, we are getting a lot of traction here in terms of the content that we have. But what is it that we had to think about before we started? There are really three aspects, and they are content, technology, and syndication. So let's talk about these in detail, and I will leave time at the end for questions. First, there's the content. What topic is it? Well, for Destination 101, it was pretty easy. We're District 101. It's going to be Toast.
We appear to have lost the audio, Birgit.
Can you hear me now?
You'd need to mute one of your devices. They're feeding back off of each other. Could you put a stop on the timer, please?
Can you hear me now?
You're still feeding on the equipment. You have to turn the mic off on the volume off of one of the devices.
I just did. Can you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you good now.
Okay.
Timer, are you ready?
Ready.
Contestant, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Go ahead, contestant. You can start back.
Great. Again, topic was going to be very easy. And there are going to be a lot of times where you have similar topic. It's important to find your own spin on things. The next thing we had to decide was the format. So did we want just one person talking? Yeah, that was the initial idea. The district director reads his message or I read the newsletter. And we decided that's not appropriate. So I'm the host and then I interview one or more people. So it's more of a conversation and we purposely keep it very casual. And the length is also very important. The sweet spot for podcasts is about 20 to 45 minutes. So we didn't want to make it too short. We didn't want to make it overly long, just to keep the interest. So those are decisions that we made along the way. And if you were to do a podcast, those are things that you'll need to think about. Next, we're going to talk about technology. And a lot of times we like to say, oh, technology. Well, you know something about technology? We really want to make sure that our technical stuff is correct. And then basically within technology, we have microphones. We want something that doesn't echo. So if you're using a computer microphone, it's going to echo off the room. In terms of recording, we want to make sure that we can actually hear all participants. I personally use Zoom because it will actually record every audio of every participant. So if one person is very low, then other participants, I can edit just the audio of one of the participants and bring that higher to make sure that the volume is about the same for each participant. Now, there's also editing. We can take out ahs and ums because we do audio only. We chose not to do video. And that's on purpose because some of our guests are a little bit nervous about being in a podcast. So they like the ability to not stream live, and they like the ability to maybe start over if they didn't formulate something exactly the way that they wanted to formulate it. So that's actually been a very important piece. And then I just basically need to edit, hey, we wanted to start this part over, edit that part out. And there are some free software pieces like, for example, Audacity, or if you want to pay some money, there are things like Adobe Audition. So that's actually very important here. You don't need to have the top of the line equipment, but you do need to have something where you're making sure that you're not echoing. And then finally, the syndication. So audio versus video. Obviously, we have audio, but in order to syndicate via video, we did not tape the video, even though we're taping on Zoom, we're only publicizing the audio. So the way to do that is actually to put a picture on top of the audio, and then we can upload it to YouTube. And after that, we use syndication services. I use anchor.fm, which you can see here on the screen. So that's a service that will actually take your audio and promote it everywhere, whether it's Google, whether it's Apple, whether it's Spotify, it goes everywhere. And then in terms of the platforms, they basically take care of that for me. So the first podcast will take about 2 weeks to get approved. And after that, the second you release, it's there. So from there, I would like to challenge you to say it's your turn to create a podcast. And I'd like to find out from the chat monitor if we've had any questions.
Yes, we have 2 questions in the chat. The first one is, do you think podcasts can be video?
It can be video. That's actually a trend in the marketplace right now. Yes.
Okay. And the second question is, have you heard of the talk show for talkers? It's the D71 podcast, and it mentions that there's 4 episodes per week.
Not yet. I'm actually mentoring a podcast club in New York, so I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of this. If you have any other questions, I'll take care of those after I finish. Madam Contest Chair.
Your mic is off, Elizanne.
Thank you. We'd have a minute of silence for the judges. Please put a minute on the clock for the timers.
Elizon, you're muted.
Thank you so much, timer. Thank you so much, Emily. Our next contestant is Christine Guld. Christine, are you ready?
Yes.
Timer, are you ready? We're going to go back to Jim.
Yes, I am ready. I can't unmute myself.
Christine Guld, what to do with all these photos? What to do with all these photos? Christine Guld.
Madam Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters, do you take pictures with your smartphone? Of course you do. I mean, every major event needs at least one selfie, like giving a speech to my Toastmasters group. So I'm going to do that. And you always mess up when people are looking, right? So one more try. Okay. And I have thousands of more photos on this phone. If I see a pretty sunset, I'm going to take 20 or 30 photos, right? And that is just the tip of the iceberg. If you're anything like me, you started taking digital photos with other cameras. You have photos on that. You have old phones. You have computers with hard drives full of photos. Maybe you have some backups on CD. What to do with all those photos? I believe in using the cloud. I am a big fan of Google Photos because it's in the cloud. So I have no limitations on storage. And it's not just anywhere in the cloud, though. It's in your account in the cloud. So, and it is under lock and key with your username and password. Photos that you put into your Google Photos account are for your eyes only. So then your job is upload all those old phone photos, upload the thousands of photos on your computer hard drives, upload all those backup CDs, thumb drives maybe. Once they're all in there, Google just waves its magic wand and they're all in date order and they're searchable by people, places, and things that are just in the photos. How are you going to learn to upload all those things? I'm so glad you asked. I wrote a book called Learn Google Photos, and chapter 3 is all about collecting the rest of the photos in your life. Now, I would like to show you what this looks like on the phone. So here is the phone that I just took that photo with. I look at Google Photos, and there's the photo that I just took. Not one of my prizes, I admit. But as I scroll back, I'm going back in time and I have thousands. I can grab this little button and scroll down through the years. Now, you know that these photos, if I go back to 2004, these photos certainly were not taken by this phone. Where am I looking? I'm looking at the cloud. And the beauty of Google is that I can search. So if I want to show you that picture of me at the Eiffel Tower, all I do is tap search and type Eiffel Tower. And there we have several. There's the one that everybody has to take. You have to get on top of the Arc de Triomphe and hold the Eiffel Tower in your hand, right? What if I want to see this on a bigger screen, like my iPad? No problem, as long as I have the Google Photos app and I am logged in to the same account. Look, there's the picture I just took with my phone. And here are all my, I have about 100,000 pictures in my Google Photos account, and I can still search for Eiffel Tower and get the same results on this device as on the phone. There are the pictures at the Eiffel Tower. You can also see it on the computer. All you do is go to photos.google.com, photos.google.com, and I see the same pictures here as on the phone or on the iPad because they're all in the cloud. And I did no work to make that happen. To sum it up, I like to quote the dedication in the beginning of my book. I think it kind of says it all. For all those lazy people like me who want the benefits of a lifetime of organized photos without the work, Google Photos is for you. One home for your lifetime of photos. Madam Top, Contest Master.
Thank you so much, Christine Guld. Can we have a minute on the clock from the timer?
That's a minute.
Thank you so much. Chief Judge, are the judges ready?
You can proceed. Yes.
Our next contestant is Angela Heath. Angela, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Timer, are you ready?
I am.
Angela Heath, write your book with online presenters. Write your book with online presenters, Angela Heath.
Hello, and welcome to tonight's webinar, where we are going to talk about how you can write your book with online presenters. Okay, I know it sounds weird, and I know you're thinking, how is that possible? We don't talk about writing here. We talk about speaking, but I am going to show you how you can do it in 5 simple steps. But first, I want to know how many of you have already wrote your book. If you already have a book, we already know that Chris does. I want you guys to use your reactions. Give me a heart if you've already written a book before. Let me see those hearts fly. Let me see those hearts. Cha-ching. Come on, guys. Who's written their book? So there's some of us, but imagine this. Imagine this, if you will. Imagine if you went to Amazon and you saw one of your fellow Toastmasters with the #1 book on Amazon. Guys, if that happened, you know what? We never have to promote online presenters. Everyone would be knocking at our door, trying to find out, how do we get so many popular books? So this is what we're going to cover tonight. And I am going to challenge you that you too can finish that book that you've got in your belly. It's time to let it out, fellow Toastmasters. So let's go on to the first simple step that you can use. That first simple step is to outline the chapters of your book. Now, most books have anywhere from 10 to 15 topics. So whatever subject you know very well, do a little research, find out what the experts are talking about, listen to the consumers, and write down their questions. You should be able to come up with 10 to 15 hot topics. Then you're ready for your next step, and that is to take the chapters of your book and present speeches right here in Toastmasters. Yes, that's right. Right here in Online Presenters, because this is a way for you to find out if your chapters are going to resonate with your audience. You know how we are in Online Presenters. We give it to you straight and we give it to you honestly. So that's going to help you prepare for the third step, and that is to go wide. Now I'm going to challenge you to take those book chapters and volunteer in the local community and speak about these subjects that you know so well. There are so many organizations that are waiting for excellent speakers like you to come and share your knowledge. Step number 4, now you've done all of your speeches, you've got all of your content out there, you've got to transcribe that information. And when you do, you're going to have a lot of pages. And guess what those pages will need? They will need step number 5, which is editing. So Toastmasters, how many of you know the importance of writing a book? Let me see your hands. If you know that a book can do so much, not only for your career, but for your self-esteem, for your authority. And I see many of you agree with me. So we've talked about the 5 simple steps. Do your chapters. Start presenting them here in Online Presenters. Take it wide. Go out to the community groups. help them, be a blessing to them. And then you're going to transcribe that information and you are going to edit that book. And before you know it, you too are going to be on the bestsellers list of Amazon. Now, if you guys are ready to write your books, let me see a reaction. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you are ready to write that book. Toastmasters, you can do it. Give me a thumbs up. I am encouraging you. I know you can. And listen, if anybody has any problems with it, just give me a call. I'm available to you. I would love to help you. My name is Angela Heath, and I am with TKC Incorporated. Contact me if you are ready to finish that book. Back to you, Madam Contest Master.
Thank you so much, Angela. Can we have a minute of silence? And the timer, can you give me a minute on your clock?
You got it. That's a minute.
Thank you so much. That was our final contestant. We're going to invite the chief judge, the ballot counter into the breakout room so that they can deliberate.
Contest
Chief
Master,
Judge.
all the entire judging team has been moved to a breakout room. You can proceed with the interviews.
Thank you so much. Now we're going to find out a lot about our contestants. Our first contestant was Andriy Smolenko. Andriy, we're going to ask two questions that is basic to all of our contestants, and then we're going to ask an additional question. So Andriy Smolenko, can you tell us how long you've been a Toastmaster and what Toastmaster club you're from? You're muted. You're muted, Andriy.
Yes, right. This is why I like Toastmasters. From time to time, things like that happen. I am Andriy Smolenko from Manchester, UK, and I've been with Online Presenters for about 8 months. And one of the, in my view, valuable skills that I've learned is when things go wrong, keep a straight face, smile, and go with the style. And that going with the style I picked up from Marty, one of our senior club members. There is another reason why I like being here, is just getting that experience from people who've seen the world, done it, been there. So there are a number of reasons. And so I'm still here, still buzzing almost every time when I go to Online Presenters.
Thank you so much. And my question for you, you mentioned that you had done an open water swim. Could you tell us all about that?
Well, yes, a few years ago, I just had that crazy idea to jump into the wild water and swim. And it was very different from what I was used to swimming in a swimming pool, lane swimming, backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards. There is another thing really, really attracted me in open water swimming is wetsuits. Everyone looks good in a wetsuit. I just put it on, start swimming, and then longer and longer. And then I completed 2 1-mile swims in the last few years. My kids are proud of Daddy. Women like me in my suit as well. So why not? Yeah, I just continue doing that.
Thank you so much, Andriy. Tonight, we'd like to present you with a certificate of participation for participating in the first webinar contest for Online Presenters 2021.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Our next contestant, Marianne Grady. Marianne, could you tell us about your Toastmasters journey, what club you belong to?
I've been a Toastmaster for about 11 years. I first joined Princeton Toastmasters in New Jersey and spent most of my time there. But last year I moved to Delaware, and but I was able, because they were online, to keep my membership at Princeton. So now I have 3 clubs because I have Online Presenters, the Southern Delaware Club, and Princeton. But I feel like that's a little too much for me. So when everyone goes back to in person, I'll have 2.
Thank you so much. You mentioned in your profile about networking. Could you share a little tip with us about your favorite networking experience?
Honestly, I've done a lot of networking just because I speak at like Society of Human Resource events and things like that. So I just find it easy to talk to people who have so much in common with you, and you learn about all the differences, and it makes it super fun.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We'd like to present to you a certificate of participation for entering the contest, the 2021 webinar contest. Thank you for participating.
Thank you so much.
Our next contestant was Birgit Zimmerman. Birgit, could you please tell us about your Toastmasters journey and which clubs you're from?
Sure. I'm sorry, but it's Starmanns.
Starmanns, sorry, I do apologize.
Okay. So I joined Toastmasters in 2006 because a friend of mine said, hey, you like to speak, you might have fun. So I could have taken that one of 2 ways, that either I'm a terrible speaker and I need some help, or that it might actually be fun. And luckily it was the latter. I am a member of 5 clubs, so Online Presenters, and then I am on the border of District 4 and 101. It all used to be 4. So they split in 2016. So I am currently president of Evening Stars in San Francisco, and I'm a member of 3 clubs in District 101, which is Silicon Valley. And those are Silicon Valley Storytellers, Next Step, an advanced club, and then also Readership 101, which is kind of a Toastmasters version of a book club, which is pretty cool.
Nice. Thank you so much for sharing that. Ballroom dancing. Oh my goodness. What an amazing hobby to have. Have you entered any contests in ballroom dancing, and how fun was it?
It's amazing. I've been competing with my instructor for 5 years. We took a break for a year, partially because of medical reasons. I had open heart surgery. And then, yeah, I came back and everything was shut down with COVID. So we've been doing everything on FaceTime, and I see him once a month. He's moved to LA, but it's amazing. He said, I've gotten a lot better. And so looking forward to coming out again this year as the restrictions start to lift. So I'm very excited about that. It is my passion.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hopefully one day we'll be invited to one of your contests and be able to cheer you on.
That'd be awesome.
Awesome. We'd like to present to you a certificate of participation for our 2021 webinar speech contest. Thank you so much for being a participant.
Thank you.
Our next contestant, Ms. Christine Guld. Christine, could you tell us about your Toastmasters journey and which clubs are you from?
Oh, no way would I be part of 5 clubs. There's just no way. I love giving a lot to one main club, and then I have the Online Presenters as my secondary club. I actually was in my first Toastmasters club before women were allowed in Toastmasters. It was a junior Toastmistress club. I was 10 years old, and it was in Alaska. So I gave my first icebreaker speech at 10 years old. Since then, I belong to a Toastmasters group when I lived in California in the in the 70s. And then I've been a member of Early Bird Toastmasters here in Fort Lauderdale since the early 90s, and online presenter since 17. An icebreaker in Alaska. I've never made that connection. I like that.
That is very funny. Thank you so much for sharing that. You mentioned in your profile that you love scuba diving.
Oh, yeah.
What was the most enchanting ocean or lake have you ever scuba dive at?
Probably Fiji. Fiji had the most colorful reefs, and the people brag about diving down deep. But once you get down deep, it's dark and there's nothing. And I don't like places where you have to get deep in order to see the bottom. Fiji has these reefs that are all at like 15, 20 feet. So they get a lot of light from the sunshine above the water, and you can see the colors. I've never seen more colors in my life than on the reefs in Fiji.
Thank you for sharing that experience. We'd like to present to you as well a certificate of participation for entering into our webinar contest 2021. Thank you so much. And our final speaker was Miss Angela Heath. Angela, could you tell us about your Toastmasters journey and the clubs that you're a part of?
Club No S. I'm a part of Online Presenters. And I just recently found out that I joined Toastmasters back in 99. And I was a member for 7 years. And because of personal reasons, I left and just came back to Online Presenters in August 2020. So happy to be here.
Welcome back, and you're definitely doing an awesome job. You talked about nature walks in your profile. What is the most interesting place that you have walked so far?
You know, I mean, this is not anything exotic like Fiji or anything, but I love walking at the zoo. And when I go visit other cities, I go to the zoos. I just think that, you know, different animals in different parts of the country and different countries themselves, I just think it's fascinating. So I love to walk through the zoos and complain about the smells and go back again because I love to do it.
Thank you so much for that information. We'd like to present to you a certificate of participation for participating in our webinar contest. We want to thank all of our guests and our contestants for bringing such awesome speeches to us on tonight, and for their availability and the insight that they've given us into their lives. I would like to bring to the microphone at this time Christian Ramshan, who will be able to give us some interesting announcements from our club. Christian?
Thank you, Madam Contest Chair. So as I figure out how to bring myself on camera, hey, here we are. So we do have a few announcements. First of all, the winner of this contest is going to go and represent Online Presenters in June 2021 at the VTMCon online webinar contest. So watch out for that, and please do attend that event and support our club representative. I'd like to point out the following items as well. So the 3rd of May, the next meeting we're going to have next Monday is going to be a business meeting. Watch out for the updates over the next few days on the agenda, hopefully. But do come on, because we need the quorum in case we need to have you vote in specific items. So that's on the 3rd of May. For the VTMCon June 2021 event, Toastmaster Jeanette Francois from Online Presenters is getting together a team to create a breakout room experience of a maximum of 30 minutes. Well, it's like 25 minutes for online presenters, where we are going to have and set up a unique, interesting experience, not only for us, but for everyone attending that breakout room. So we need you. watch out for the email invitation from Jeanette to participate. And if you haven't done so already, I'm going to post it in the chat again. Register at vtm.toastmasters.org and help us put on a great PR show, which is now being initiated on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. That's all I have as announcement. Thank you so much. And back to you, Madam Contest Chair.
Thank you so much. I'd like to invite some of our guests to share their experience with us about the contest. Do we have any volunteers right now? Hector, could you unmute yourself?
Yes.
What did you think about the contest?
Well, first, when I hear about it last meeting, a webinar within 5 minutes, I just could not even imagine. How could that be? I mentioned before I gave a webinar, it was 45 minutes long, plus question and answers. I could just not put it in my mind. And then I just witnessed 5 webinars, all of them delivering a lot of value. I took a lot of notes of each one of the webinars, wanted to know more about the subject. I love it. It just blew my mind of what is possible to do in such a short period of time. Piqued my interest. I want to learn more. Congratulations, fantastic.
Thank you so much. Do we have another volunteer to share your experience? Paul, hi. Could you tell us about your experience with our webinar contest?
Thank you very much, Contest Chair. In a single word, my experience, energy. From beginning, coming into the room to right now, even listening to the way in which you invite people to give their views, high energy. That's a cultural thing, you know, so it's different from Ireland, where there's a kind of a looseness and messiness about the way in which we do things in comparison. We're not as tight and as energetic as here. But I was very struck by the number of things that I learned from the people doing the webinars. And it was everything like the advantages of having slides with key simple words on them to follow, to how to get the audience to do something. These things are going to help me when I compete, because I've seen a few techniques that I've said to myself already, it was worth coming in order to learn that one. And I also have to confess, I'll take away the podcasting issue, because I am a podcaster, have been for a very long time, and I co-present the District 71 podcast. But we don't need to have a word approved. We just say what we want. And we've interviewed probably everyone, the last world champions and Dan Rex and Deepak Menon and all these people, and plus brand new people who just came, just joined Toastmasters last week, you know, and they're asked things like, what would you like to improve about Toastmasters? And when they hardly know what it's like. So you ask the same thing to Dan Rex, and you ask that to a brand new entrant. And over 7 years, you get hundreds of episodes. So I love connecting with podcasters and people who are interested in that. But above all, I want to thank you all for helping me to win our club contest. Thank you very, very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm going to take one more person, and then we're going to get down to some juicy business. Can I have one more person, please? Another guest? I don't see any volunteers. Okay, so if no one else volunteers, I want to thank everyone for being a part of our webinar contest, our chief judge, Mr. David Carr, all of our judges, our participants, the web Zoom masters, our chat monitor, and everyone who participated. I can't get to everyone's information right this minute, but I'll definitely come back and thank everyone. You all did an awesome job in making this contest a huge success. And without further ado, let's get the drum rolls going. Our third place contestant is, are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
Andriy Smolenko. Yay! Our second place winner is Miss Chris Guld. Congratulations. And the biggest drum roll, please. Our first place contestant is Angela Heath. Woo! Congratulations to all of our winners, and again to all of our participants for taking part in this year's contest, for making it a success, and for allowing us to be able to go on to the next level. Andrew will be presenting at the VTCom conference in 2020. That is a couple of months away. Again, thank you all so much, and I'm going to turn the program back into the hands of our presider, Christian Ramcharan.
Thank you, Elisa. Thank you so much. And let's give a big round of applause to our first time contest chair. Thank you so much, Elisa. I know all the work you've been putting in behind the scene. Thank you so much. Before I end this fun party, I'd like to recognize the following people without whom this event couldn't have been possible. And Zoom Master, can you please spotlight my screen? Thank you for all the role players. Thank you to our chief judge. Chief judge is not Elisan Warren Russell. It's a typo. It's a contest chair. Chief judge is David Carr. We have an anonymous panel of judges. Hats off to you for being here and working with us. Thank you to our backup contest chair, Emily Thompson. Thank you to our timers, Jim Guld and Donna Knight. You were fantastic. Our ballot counters, Lucas and Mahfouzur Rahman, chat monitor, April Elise, and hey, we had a Zoom master from District 71. Thank you so much, Liz Welch. Thank you so much. So this brings us to the end of this meeting. And for once, we are ahead of time. Hey! So I'd like to invite feedback from some of our members who have been quiet and some of our Pulse members who joined us especially. So I'd like to hear from Jeanette Francois. How was the meeting? Let's try to keep it short and sweet, 30 seconds if possible.
Well, thank you, Christian. I found the meeting very interesting, and I'm so sad I didn't participate as a contestant because I found out that I could have had a very interesting topic that could have won the contest. So it's next time I'll catch up. So I won't miss it next time. That's
all right. Thank you so much.
That's good. What is the winning topic? I want to know.
Well, watch out in 2022 for that winning speech. Thank you, Jeanette. I'd like to hear from Laura Deanda. How are you doing? And how was this contest for you?
Oh, this was wonderful. It was great to hear such succinct webinars that it packs so much information. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I enjoyed the presentations, all of them, and so many nuggets of information I'm taking with me. So thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Let's hear from Rosina Duncanson, who's been watching and observing.
Thank
Rosina.
you so much, Christian. Yes, I agree. Lots of information. I am excited to start a podcast, write a book. There's so many exciting things that happened tonight. So thank you, contestants, for sharing. We truly learned a lot. And like you, Jeanette, I think next year I'm getting on the panel with you as well. So competition next year.
Thank you so much. I'm going to take a last person, the man from tomorrow, Graham Cairns. How was it for you? And oh my God, did you miss out or did you miss out?
I missed out. I have to say that was, I thought,
That's
I thought that
me.
was a terrific contest. Thank you, everybody. I have to, one of the things I really like about this club is that we always record every meeting. And I always like to go back and check out some of the things that have happened, but I'm going to be I wasn't taking notes because I was enjoying it too much. I'm going to be going and taking extensive notes from all of the webinar presentations tonight, because there's something I could take from every single one of them. Congratulations to all of the contestants. Next year, I am going to be ready. Next year, I am going to compete. I'm sorry, Jeanette, you won't win, but I'll let you come second.
I'll leave that between the two of you. You can send it in the breakout room if you want, but thank you for the spirit, Graham. On this, I'm going to head over and close this meeting. Before I do that, I'd like to invite everyone to stay on because our VPPR, Elaine Neighbording, is going to host the after party where we can network, maybe have some song and dance, I don't know, but please stay on and have a chat and share your feelings and let us know how it has been for you. Thank you so much for being with us at Online Presenters. We're now closing the meeting and it's now officially adjourned. Don't have a gavel, but hey, thank you. And over to you, Elaine.